How's it going today, everybody? Eddie Kernan for Rexylab and the Squishy Guitar Project. Welcome to the Guitarmery. Well, this is really cool, and at long last, we're going to be giving our very first kid, Brad Bork, his guitar that has been refurbished. This thing started its life as an abandoned Chinese Les Paul knockoff, and it has turned into something that is completely customized for this young man, right down to his name on the headstock, and a little extra something on the back. Anyway, this right here is in celebration of a couple things. The first one is that we are in fact giving this to Brad Friday, March the 19th, 2021, which happens to be a day of great significance for me. It is my 51st birthday, and something that I don't really like to advertise a lot, so why am I saying it now? Well, because it might help somebody. I used to tip the bottle a little bit too much, and I used my birthday as an excuse to validate the shitty self-destructive behavior that I had. And you know what? Ever since I knocked all that foolishness off, I've made it a very big point to do something really awesome for somebody else that does not involve my birthday at all. So yes, March 19th, I turn 51 years old. I know, I don't look a day over 62, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, that is celebration number one. Celebration number dos is that
I'm wearing my squishy shirt. I bought a squishy shirt.
Oh my God, Phillip McKnight was wearing my shirt on the Know Your Gear podcast. Oh man, you know what? To date, he has mentioned the Squishy Guitar Project a grand total of 2 times, and he has donated a couple times as well. I've tried to get a hold of Phil, but guess what? He's a hard guy to get a hold of. He shot me a couple texts here and there, emails, but you know, that's about it. And I get it, we're all busy. So, okay, no problem. But what I am going to do here, since the very first time he ever mentioned it, when Larry DiMarzio had given him his Eddie Van Halen photographs, was that he was perusing and he saw the Guitologist had done a clickbaity thing, and then he said he has no problems with clickbait. He does just as much of it as he think he can get away from. So click this bait, baby. What we're going to do now is I'm going to steal 2 of your bits, Phil. And what we're going to do is know your nonprofit. And another way I'm going to frame this is 10 things you don't know about the Squishy Guitar Project. Number 1. The Squishy Guitar Project actually started as I was telling Squishy's mom, Angie, a story about giving blankets to the homeless. See, back when I was in my early 20s, there was this weird anti-hero movie that came out with Dustin Hoffman called Hero, wherein he inadvertently saves a bunch of people's lives, and he's just kind of an a-hole about the whole thing, and a different guy gets the credit. Well, there's a scene in that movie where the different guy who gets the credit is a homeless dude, and he encourages everybody to go and hand out some blankets to the homeless people because it's going to get cold tonight and he's homeless and he knows what it's like. Girlfriend and I were sitting there watching that, and I looked at her and said, that sounds like a great idea. So we actually got together, told a couple other people we were going to do it, and the next thing you knew, we had all kinds of crap to give to the homeless. You know what they wanted more than anything else? Socks. It's the weirdest thing. Socks. I get it though. And being that I've never been homeless, I'm extremely grateful. And I make a big deal out of socks. And in fact, as a result of the Squishy Guitar Project, I carry around little lunch sacks that have a bottle of water, a Cliff Bar, and a brand new set of Kirkland socks from Costco. And Costco does not endorse the Squishy Guitar Project yet, but they should give me free socks to give to homeless people. So there's that. At any rate, as I was telling Angie this story, what wound up happening was she told me that she and her daughter had started doing projects to make the community better, which blew my mind that this little 4-year-old child with 9 rare diseases, 4 of which are terminal, is going out of her way to make the world a better place. And what they had done was they had put together backpacks. But COVID had just happened and they were ordered to not leave the house at all. So I went over and I actually picked up the backpacks, and that was when I saw the infamous door that started the idea, that started the Squishy Guitar Project. Number dos. So the Squishy Guitar Project started out as an idea to give legacy guitars to Squishy's brother and sister. In fact, I have the body right here. Now, I'd said there was a door. And this door was painted up, and it was because Squishy had actually drawn on the walls, and Angie was going to do what moms do. They'd say, you can't draw on the walls, but then she was like, well, why would I do that? You know, I mean, something could happen at any moment, and I will cherish that drawing on the wall. So she looked over at the great big huge glass door and said, you want to do that one next? And of course, what 4-year-old wouldn't want to? I saw that and I knew that I had this strap body sitting right here. And it gave me the idea to have her paint this up because Angie has 2 other kids that she had mentioned played the guitar. So Angie came over here. I showed her the guitar. I asked. She bawled her eyes out like you would not believe, and then started showing me picture after picture after picture of her other daughter and her son playing guitar for their baby sister from the moment they brought her home. The prognosis was never good. What they said was take her home and love her for as long as you can. That's pretty ominous. But you know what? As a result, the guitar means a lot to their family and that little triumvirate of brother, sister, sister. So it started out that she said, we need 2. Sure, no problem. Then she said, you know what? I want one. We need 3. I was like, okay. And she was like, we should make one for Squishy. 4. And I was like, I want one too then. She was like, fine, no problem. 5. And that is how this started. But it didn't end there. In fact, we wound up getting enough guitars to do for everybody. And that was when Angie actually turned this whole thing into a 501c3 nonprofit to give other children with rare and terminal diseases the rock star day of their life. And this right here is going to be for the first child. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am to give it to him. It is done up exactly the way that he would love. So, that would be number 2. Number 3, Phillip McKnight, you're wearing the wrong shirt. The horror. That's right, you heard right, Phil. You are wearing the wrong shirt.
I won't stand for that.
Let me tell you a little bit about how this went down. Way back a long time ago, I came up with the idea for Rexylab. This is actually a video game reference. I am not a gamer. That's why I put the E in there. There's no E on the controller of a video game, so when I did a Google search to see if anybody had taken it, no, it's all mine. Well, once I figured out the error in my ways, I Googled it without the E, and guess what? I was super late to the party. So, the fact that I'm a guitar nerd and not a gamer enabled me to come up with this shirt. I designed the font myself, did all this stuff, sat up meticulously with French curves, rulers, and graph paper. I still couldn't draw a straight line, but it was enough to hire an artist. This was all before I met Angie. Then, later, as she incorporated the nonprofit, the 501c3, what wound up happening was she loved my tagline, making the world a better place, one guitar at a time. She said that she wanted to modify that to raising awareness for rare diseases, one guitar at a time, and I said, sure, why not? So what wound up happening was she did the Squishy Guitar Project, and Phil McKnight one day caught wind of it, and he ordered a shirt. When she showed me the shirt he ordered, it was this one. This is my shirt. This has nothing to do with Squishy, although I have no idea where the money for these shirts goes. So it probably does support the Squishy Guitar Project after all. And you know what? Every spare penny that I have goes into guitar nerdiness and Squishy Guitar Project and doing things like this. So ultimately, yeah, you did buy a shirt that supported the project. Phil said that he wanted to buy one. I caught wind of that and shot him a text saying, I will send you one. He was like, no, I want to buy it. He bought one. I sent him everything we had. And funny enough, I thought that it was a mistake that he ordered this one. And he actually did say, hey, cool shirt. I couldn't agree with you more, Phil. But this is actually the one that you, if you're supporting the Squishy Guitar Project, this is the proper shirt right here. But you have one of these. I know. I sent it to you along with the retro red and black Rexylab shirt too, which is a tribute to Iron Maiden. And in fact, if you look at the colors, these are Iron Maiden colors. Not a mistake, my friends. Not a mistake. But that's a story for another time. So that right there was number 3. Phil, you're wearing the wrong shirt. But I know you got the right one. Number 4. I met the first kid's dad when I was working for the most difficult customer that I had ever experienced in the guitar world. Now, way back when I was 18 years old, I worked in music retail. I did again a little bit later, and then I went off and I put on my big boy pants and I became a commercial deep sea diver in the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, I have to rebuild this thing after I get done shooting this video. So I just do this for fun now because I love guitars. I'm a guitar nerd and I don't care who knows it. You know, when people ask me how many guitars do you need, I hope that they're women so I can say how many pairs of shoes do you need. You know, my answer, just a little bit more. And to answer the other day when they were taking the poll on how many guitars do you own, I quit counting at 60, but I would be overjoyed to have 600. Anyway, I digress, and this is all crammed into a very small room too, but there's all kinds of stuff around here that you cannot see. In fact, let me see if I can give you a quick shot. You see that over there? Those are real from back in the day. That may or may not get edited out. All right, so anyway, I met Brad's dad when I was working on a guitar. It was a Zakk Wylde BFG Gibson Les Paul, and it was a really cool guitar. The problem was the nut was blown, and it was buzzing on that first fret. Not a big deal. So there's a nut right over there. Let's throw it. Graph tech or bone? What do you want? Well, the guy looked at me and he was like, that is a high quality Gibson nut and I will not have it replaced. And I was like, dude, that's it's been blown. It needs to be replaced. He was like, oh, Gibson! Oh, fanboy! And it was like, oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Here we go. So I tried to do the super glue and baking soda trick, and you know what? It worked. Of course it did, because if you know how to do it, it works every time. But this guy was not happy. I have a guarantee with Rexylab. If you're not happy, I'm not happy. I won't charge you a penny. This also comes with, I will never do another job for you, but I won't charge you a penny. So I sat here and I readjusted this thing so many times, and after 4 freaking hours, I finally found out why he wasn't happy. Because way back in the late 80s, early 90s, he played a Fender Strat that was just his ultimate dream, and he wanted this Les Paul to play like that Fender Strat. Well, when I tried to explain to him with radius gauges that was impossible, he was like, "Grr!" And then when I whipped out a tape measure and I showed him the scale length and said, not going to happen, he was like, "No!" And then when I was like, look, man, check out the neck angle, look at the pitch of the headstock, all this other stuff. He was just like, well, I don't understand why you can't make it play like a Strat, and I'm not happy. So your guarantee is that I don't pay, right? And I was like, that is my guarantee. Well, right as that was happening, this nice man came into the store, and he looked around and asked if they sold used guitars. They said yes, and I'm always listening. And so I heard the guy back there, and he said, this one has a sticker of a skull on it. My son loves skulls. I would really like to get this for him. And then there was a pause, and he said, but we just got a bunch of medical bills. My son has special needs. Maybe some other time. Well, that perked up my ears, and I was like, Eddie Kernan with the Squishy Guitar Project, how you doing? Put her there, pal. Mr. Grumpy Pants over here was like, you're currently working for me. And I was like, calm your tits, bitch. So he and I sat there and talked. I got him to text me a couple pictures of his son, which I shot immediately to Angie and said, hey, what do you think? And she was like, we are so giving this kid a guitar. And guess what? Like I said, here it is. Can you tell I'm excited? I think you can. All right, so that right there would be number 4. Number 5, Seymour Duncan sponsors the Squishy Guitar Project. That's right, you heard right. It is 100% true. Seymour Duncan, I went after them as hard as I could for what seemed like an eternity. And then finally, I get a hold of them, and I just started hitting random extension numbers, and I got put in touch with their head of sales. I told him about what we were doing, and he said, it sounds really great, but I got to be honest, I've never ever heard of you guys. I was like, well, I'd be really surprised if you had. I'm just a couple little nobodies in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana. And we haven't even been at this for half a year yet. And he said, well, we could set you up with dealer status, but maybe we could do a little bit better. So can you send us a couple examples of your work? And I was like, yeah, sure, I could do that. Later that day, I met Mr. Grumpy Pants and Brad's dad. And so I went back and I made the first video, which you can see. It's video number 1 in the playlist on this channel, This Autistic Kid's Getting a Guitar. I did a lot of work on it. I felt really good. I went to sleep, and about in the middle of the night, my eyes just snapped wide open. I was like, Seymour Duncan! Oh my God! So I went down and I was like, geez, I have nothing prepared. They were expecting something today. So I wrote them this great big email about how I don't want your money. I want your pickups. And included the video. Sent it off to Duncan. It's a 5-minute video. 10 minutes later, I got a response. All it was one sentence that said, call me back at this number at your earliest convenience. Well, I called back, and I'm no longer talking to the head of sales. This is the head of product development. And he was like, oh, hey, thanks for being so quick about it. We're in. It's like, just like that, just like that. In fact, let me help you out with a couple other things, because there are some mistakes that you're making as far as getting sponsorship from people like us. And Seymour Duncan has been a huge help in helping us establish ourselves on Charity Navigator, giving us the do's and the don'ts of different things. They've just been great. They really have. So thank you very much, Seymour Duncan. I can't even begin to tell you how much it means to me that you guys, somebody that I have loved and insisted on your stuff since the beginning, is sponsoring something that means so much to me. So thank you, Seymour Duncan, and your pickups are freaking awesome. Okay, so that right there is number 5. Number 6, Brad, the guitologist, has been so helpful. So ridiculously helpful. The way that I got hooked up with Brad, the guitologist, was really just dumb luck, to tell you the truth. I was sitting there perusing around on the computer looking for guitar-related stuff, as is my wont. And I just happened across his contact information, probably right before he deleted it, or something like that. So I shot him an email or a text, I can't remember which, telling him that I was a fan, that I really enjoyed the amp repair stuff that he does, and that just the idea of even like unscrewing something on an amp terrifies me. Told him a little bit about what we do with the Squishy Guitar Project, and just said it would be really cool if we could do something one day. I have no idea what. Well, I got a response pretty quick. And he was like, can you send me some documentation that shows that you're actually a legit nonprofit? Absolutely. So we shot that stuff off to him, and the next thing you knew, he hit me back and said, I'm in. But really, what did you have in mind? I've got a guy that's going to build a guitar for Squishy to paint, and that will be a present for her brother and sister. And I've got another guitar that was built by a guy that we're going to auction, and then that money is going to go straight to you guys and your nonprofit. And I was like, you are kidding. He was not kidding, as a matter of fact. And if you guys have seen the Scar My Guitar, I built a guitar for the Squishy Guitar Project. It's here, and it is just waiting for Squishy to be able to decorate it. There's also a guy who found out about that, and he was like, I build custom amps. What kind of wood is that? And I was like, all kinds, but the top's flame maple. And he was like, I'm going to build a flame maple amp to go with that guitar so that she can paint it up at the same time. And I was like, if you insist, that's going to be so cool. So these are heirloom pieces that are happening for their family because of Brad the guitologist. And I'm here to tell you guys, that dude has a heart of gold. He really does. Brad is awesome. He is very, very smart. And as far as anybody who might have something to say about his political leanings or anything like that, I am completely, my politics are checked at the door when it comes to this project. I don't care. I don't care. It's what I want us to do is all come together. Let's work on what we all agree on. Let's find what we agree on. Do you like ice cream? I like ice cream. Are we going to quibble over what flavor? I hope not. Do you like puppies? I love puppies. Let's focus on what it is we do agree on. Do you hate the idea of children being sick and being used as human pincushions? Because it's just so unfair that they were born with these things. Me too. As a result, anybody that wants to help. Come on. You know, I don't check to make sure that your ideology fits mine. I don't care. And as far as I'm concerned, if you want to help sick children, that makes you a good person. So that is number 6. Number 7, the colors of the dinosaur. Yeah, all of them. From the white teeth to the zebra striped saddle, all of them represent something that is really, really important as far as Squishy's condition. They all represent a different disease that she is battling with currently. And as a matter of fact, the whole thing of her riding the dinosaur came about from 2 things. The first one is that Squishy loves dinosaurs. She can't get enough. They are her favorite thing in the world. In fact, this right here, her T-Rex, is named T-Bone. She named it after the dinosaur from T-Rex Ranch, which is a YouTube thing for kids. And she actually got to meet the park rangers from T-Rex Ranch in Texas. It was such a great day. They gave her a little Squishy Ranger uniform. She gave them Squishy Guitar Project shirts. They played in the fountain, got all wet. She asked them if it would be okay if they changed because she didn't want the day to end. She loves dinosaurs. So, part 2 of what's important about this is that there was going to be, and still might be, we never know, a comic strip that was going to revolve around whatever thing Squishy was dealing with at the time. And whatever color it was that that disease was represented by, T-Bone here would turn into that color and he would go to battle against that particular rare disease while Squishy was doing her best to help, but the disease was like kicking her butt. T-Bone would just shred the frickin' hell out of it. So that is why this particular little logo here, the emblem, is so important. And that is also why every single Squishy Guitar Project that we make, down to the zebra, because zebra is actually a color, it will be represented on any of the custom Squishy Guitar Project guitars that we make. That does not include things that we do for kids. Things that we do for kids are 100% totally tailored to the kid. But anything that we do as a Squishy Guitar Project guitar, every one of these colors will be represented. Number 8, the very first order that the Squishy Guitar Project made was to Warmoth Guitars, and they rejected it. Oh man, that's pretty hardcore. Okay, so you need some context there. And let's pick up the old strap body to get it back. I told you that I had shown this to Angie and said, hey, what do you think? And she was like, I love it. I love it. Well, I went offshore to do my deep sea diving gig. And then when I came back, she had shown me this really fancy bound thing that said the Squishy Guitar Project on it. She had not consulted me about this one bit. I looked at it and like the true jackass I am, fought the urge to say, would you go to Kinko's and like way overpay for a dream journal or something? But somehow, because I'm older and more mature now, I said, hey, what am I looking at? And she said, open it. I opened it up and it was a 3-ring binder that had the Articles of Incorporation for a 501c3 nonprofit. Now, I've been involved with some 501c3s in the past, and it was always just completely blown out of proportion how difficult and expensive it was to do this with a board of directors and everything else. So for this woman to do it in less than a month by herself really blew my mind. I was beyond impressed and continue to be. But that brings me to the Warmoth thing. Later, she looked at me and said, hey, that guitar body, is it a good one? And I was like, yeah, sure, it's fine. And what I was thinking was, it's solid wood, I mean, it's fine. I'm going to shield it, clean it up, and all that other stuff, and it'll be as good as anything else, I mean, made in Mexico Strat or what have you, after I put my hands all over it. And she said, no, is it a really good one? And I was like, define really good. And she was like, is it the best? And I was like, no, not even remotely. And she was like, well, this is my daughter's legacy. I want it to be the best. I thought for half a second, it didn't take much longer than that. I was like, well, then you want Warmoth. She's like, what's Warmoth? So I explained it to her. And you know what? I've actually had this Warmoth guitar since 1988. I actually grew up about 45 minutes away from Warmoth. I've had friends that have worked there. I can't say enough good things about the quality that comes out of Warmoth. Blows my mind. So after I got done telling her that, she said, sounds expensive. I was like, oh, you're darn tootin'. But Angie is a remarkable businesswoman. She raised a bunch of funds, and we put in an order for 3 necks and 3 bodies. Came up to just under $3,000. They are that good. And they're worth it, too. They really are. Well, towards the end of this order, we asked the guy if there was a chance that there would be any kind of discount because it was a nonprofit for sick children. And he told us that the only discount that they do is for an order of 50 identical items or more. And it's not like an earth-shattering discount. It's not like a crazy amount. And we were like, oh, okay, well, sure. And they said, well, you know what? Put it in the notes. We'll run it past the boss on Monday. But it's after quitting time. I'm the last person here Friday night. And we were like, oh, dude, so sorry. He was like, no. More than happy to do it. Well, Monday morning rolls around and Angie calls me up in a panic. Warmoth declined my credit card. Warmoth declined your credit card? The money's in there, I swear to God. I was like, oh, geez. Let me call them. So I called them up, and they were like, hey, what are you doing? So I just declined the credit card. Funds are there. What's going on? Order number, please. I told them the order number. Dude was like, okay. And I waited for what seemed to be an eternity. It's probably only about 3-4 minutes. And he came back and he was like, all right, well, I just talked to the owner. And she said, your money is no good here. Take those guitars and do something amazing with them. And I was like, one more time, please. He said, yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to get to say this again. It's on us. Take that stuff, do something great, make the lives of sick kids better. Okay. Yes, sir. So I called up Angie. I told her about it, and boy, oh boy, this poor woman has shed so many tears when guitar people do something amazing for her and her daughter. And in fact, I have one of those Warmoth necks and bodies right here. This is going to be the legacy guitar, and this thing is going to be mind-blowing when it's done. Gibson scale length. It's got the moon glow side dots and an asymmetrical Wolfgang neck, roasted flame maple, Macassar ebony, fretboard, tone chambered, and Graphtec. Just everything about this is going to be mind-blowing. But here's the thing, we didn't stop there, because the guitar is going to come with a bonus fretless neck. This is the SRV profile, and it's still asymmetrical just like the Wolfgang, but it's a little bit chunkier. And so the whole deal is that you're going to be able to swap out these necks and have either fretted or fretless if you want one of these things. And I got to tell you, we've sold one, but it was really expensive. And the guy knew he was going to have to wait forever because we're still waiting on his parts from Warmouth and Duncan. But we got the all the Hipshot stuff in the Tone Pros, so we're good there. But as if that isn't enough, that squishy Strat, yeah, no, So this right here is going to be the Squishy Caster. And I cannot even begin to tell you guys all the great, crazy things that I'm going to do to this guitar to make it just mind-blowing, one-of-a-kind. Good golly, I don't even know what to do about it. And we are going to be putting this guitar up for auction. And here's what I'm hoping. I already know the guitarologist is in, but what I want to do is I want to finish this guitar, send it to Phil McKnight, have him throw in his 2 cents about it, and then have him send it to the guitarologist, have him throw in his 2 cents about it. We can all have a little Zoom chit chat about the thing and then put it up on eBay. Highest bidder takes it. But you know what? If you miss your chance, I will build you another one, because I care about your money funding the Squishy Guitar Project so that we can make more kids' rock star dreams come true. Next, number 9. Paul Gilbert inadvertently taught me about one of Squishy's rare diseases. It's true. I love Paul Gilbert. I really, really do. And for a little while, I did have a PGM. But you know what? As you can probably tell by the outrageous amount of RGs behind me and a couple Pro lines, I got a ton of Ibanez. A ton. I'm an Ibanez kind of guy. In fact, all those basses are Ibanez. And you know what? That ain't all of them. Because right over there are 4 gems and 2 universes, and they're all the real deal made in Japan ones. There's another Ibanez there. There are 2 more over there. There's one right there. You get the idea. I really dig my Ibanez. So I really wanted another Paul Gilbert thing. And I saw the micro and got an idea to do a Nashville tuning guitar on a 3/4 size guitar. And I figured, what a great excuse to buy the Paul Gilbert that I want so badly. Well, Angie and I were sitting doing Squishy Guitar Project stuff, and she noticed this micro right there. And she kept on repeating it, micro, micro, microcephaly. Sounded important. So it's like, what's microcephaly? She invited me to Google it, being that I was sitting in front of my computer. And I did. Microcephaly is the same thing that the Ramones wrote the song Pinhead about. Microcephaly is when your skull is too small for your brain. And I would not have known that would I have not bought this micro, because I needed any excuse to get a little bit more Paul Gilbert in my life. Hey, what do you know? That brings us to number 10. And number 10 is a funny one. As I said, Squishy's brother and sister, we're making legacy guitars for them. They can have whatever they want. Absolutely whatever they want. But when I was asking them what shape or this or that, what would you like for me to do for you? They both looked at me and went, we only play Ibanez. It's like, really? I'm offering to make you anything. Anything. And you're like, we only play Ibanez. Yes, that is correct. Well, as I stated before, I've got Walbanez back there, so, okay, cool, I'm in. After much talk and deliberation, what we came up with was, because they are both young and kind of dig the heavier djent kind of thing, and wanted a trem, what we decided to do was get some 7620s and just modify them accordingly. So that is what we set out to do, and that's what we've done. We've gotten enough 7620s for brother, sister, Squishy's fake dad, which is a really good family friend. This one is mine from my own personal collection, which I'm going to give it the Squishy Guitar Project treatment too. And what we're going to do is we're going to swirl it with 4 of the colors from the dinosaur, and then the other colors will be taken care of with hardware and such, things like that. Some amazing electronics and pickups are going to go in here. We've got stuff from Woodland Cast that's custom knobs, tuner buttons, things of that nature that are going to go on it. It's going to be really, really something. And I couldn't be more excited. I could not be more excited to use my favorite stuff on my favorite brand to create some things for this charity and this little girl that I just absolutely adore, and her mom, who's just tough as nails. Good golly, dude. I would feel sorry for anybody that was dumb enough to go up against my good friend Angie when it comes to anything that would get in the way of her taking care of her family. So that's it. 10 things that you didn't know, but now you do know about the Squishy Guitar Project. And I just want to thank you guys for watching it. I want to thank Phil for his, I probably should forgive the familiar tone, Mr. McKnight. I want to thank Phillip McKnight for being supportive and everything, and really hope that he has a good sense of humor about me stealing his bit. And I don't know, if you want to do something goofy and make fun of the way that I over-enunciate certain things when I'm excited, feel free. Hand gestures and all. Why not? Brad the Guitologist, such a big help, you guys. I can't even begin to say enough things about him. All of our sponsors, Seymour Duncan, Hipshot, the Diodario Foundation, God, who else am I forgetting? Warmouth. Warmouth. Man, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing that was. And all of you, because I'm just some guy. I'm just some freaking guitar nerd, I mean, how far do you think I get on my own? Not very. I need the guitar community's help on this one, man. Because you know what? This isn't about a cool t-shirt, and I completely agree with you, Mr. McKnight. Phillip that what exactly again was it that you said about my shirt?
But like I said, cool shirt, cool cause. Check it out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's not about a cool shirt. It's not even about helping this family anymore, you know. That's not what this is. This is about giving every single kid that's dealing with a rare and terminal disease their day, their rock star dreams coming true. That's what this is all about. And you know what? It's the guitar community helping out that's going to make that happen. You know, it's amazing how many times I reached into my own pocket because we were just out of funds, didn't know what in the world was going to happen. It's like, well, you know what? I mean, something's gonna break loose here any minute. And then all of a sudden, somebody would just pop in and it would save the day. And that is because guitar players. I mean, what else can I say? You guys are the best. I'm not kidding. This isn't me. I'm just the way to get the message through to you. You guys are the people that are doing this. So, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And stay tuned because we got a bunch of stuff coming up. There's going to be a Zoom interview with Brad and his mom and dad and Angie. You're finally going to get to meet her. It's not just going to be me. Squishy has decided that she is a YouTuber now. So she's going around and doing all these cute little 5-year-old girl things. And I love that kid. So, you know, I can't say enough about how brilliantly talented she is. And of course, yeah, this Friday, at the time that I'm filming this, 5 days away, we are giving this kid a guitar that is so custom to him that his dad told me he's probably either going to hug you or have a seizure. There's a lot of room in between those two things, you guys. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. But more importantly, I cannot wait to see this kid get the guitar that he has been hassling his parents. Mom, Dad, please get me a guitar. I need a guitar. Mom, Dad, I need a guitar. Please, please. My God, this kid might have wound up with a glary if it wasn't for me meeting his dad. Oh, the horror. Anyway, you guys, that's it. And until next time, this has been Eddie Kernan for Rexylab and the Squishy Guitar Project, raising awareness for rare diseases, one guitar at a time.